What's up, guys? Welcome to the Space Bar Podcast. I'm a little crunk, and
I am
hopefully
too.
Connor is.
I'm a little bit.
I gotta.
We spent the past 2 hours allowing me to drink so that I could get a little bit tipsy for this because it
And I've been
takes.
drinking all afternoon, so I've had a pretty good buzz all afternoon.
I would take a buzz all afternoon versus a buzz, just at the night. Because
You got soft hands.
I'm going to guarantee you it's going to be a 4 o'clock morning for me. I'm going to be up at 4.
Yeah, for the listeners out there, it is almost 2 in the morning right now. We just
It's
decided
1:45 right now.
to drink and record a podcast because why not? Make it interesting. I feel like.
Well, and Zane did forget that we were going to do the podcast today. And then
I feel like we both forgot. We were both playing Siege, okay? I feel like we both forgot.
yeah, maybe a
I
little
didn't
bit.
see you mentioning it to me, saying, "Hey, are we gonna do this today?" Or I didn't hear anything from
Well,
you over there.
I mean, so usually whenever we're playing with a friend, we don't stop that just so
Yeah.
that we can do the podcast. And you were like you was going to sleep. I was like, okay. And then
Yeah,
it was
I
like, and 2 hours later, and you was like, oh, I'm not going to sleep.
think it was more of an hour. I think you're exaggerating here, okay?
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anything interesting going on in your life right now that you'd like to talk about on the podcast?
Let's see here. I mean, there's always interesting things going on, you know. Um,
Especially in the world, bro. Do you ever go? Okay, especially for the podcast, I go and look around for news articles that I think are interesting and kind of funny.
like what?
Um, this one right here, actually. 2 million liters of water drained from a reservoir in search for a phone that an Indian official dropped in there while he was taking a selfie.
Wow, they dropped a
So,
whole
okay, yeah,
phone.
the story, yeah, he dropped a phone in the water in some reservoir while trying to take a selfie or something like that. And then when he dropped it, or after he dropped it, he apparently uh, had divers go down and look for it, because there was, quote, government, security issue, it was a security breach if someone just found it, had sensitive information on it. There we go. And then they couldn't find it, so he's like, let's just drain it. Let's just get rid of all the water. And
That would be
apparently,
like,
the emptied water would have been used for farmland, but now it has been drained and something like that, so it's not being used for that. Or I don't know. I don't know where they put it. They
they
might have
drank it.
got some trucks.
They sent it to
They sh-
Africa.
They sent it to Africa. They said you guys need this more.
Yeah.
Have you seen those memes on TikToks where it's like people in Africa and they're like, "You guys always saying we don't have water. I got water." And they're just dumping out a water bottle on the ground.
Wow.
They're
Have you
like, "Yeah,
seen
we got
the
water."
Good Doctor?
Bro, of
Memes on
course I've seen
TikTok.
the Good Doctor. Yes, I
For
am a surgeon.
for
I love
the
those
for the
memes.
viewers out there, it's even more funny because we have a friend who looks exactly like the guy who plays the Good Doctor.
What's his name? Hold on, because he's also in Bates Motel, and he's like this. He plays the same character. It feels like
I feel
it's
like his
the
name
same
is.
guy.
Oh, I was gonna say his name's Murphy, but his name's Murphy in the show. I am dark.
Freddie Highmore. Freddie Highmore, that guy.
Is it Highmore or Haymore?
It's spelled high and then more with no space in between. It's just
Oh,
Highmore. So Highmore.
No.
Um,
Yeah, the literally I joined the Discord call today, and that was the 1st question I asked. I asked our friend. I was like, "Hey, when are you gonna cosplay as the Good Doctor?"
did you know though he is the kid on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the one
Yes,
with Johnny Depp?
I saw that meme today.
Today? Oh,
Yep.
I thought You just ruined it, bro. I was gonna hit you with a cool fact that I thought you didn't know, but I
Well,
guess
I
I
just
guess it's
happened to have
ruined.
opened TikTok today. You might have sent it to me earlier. No, you didn't.
Let me see. Anything else he was in that was like
Notable?
what? Yeah, let me look.
Nothing important.
I guess not. Um, yeah, not really.
Yeah, I was like, I saw that meme today, and it was, of course, an edited face of the
Dude,
other the other dude in the scene being
it
the kid
started
that takes
out.
the chocolate.
Mhm. Dude, the meme, or at least what I think the meme started out as, because I saw it on Twitter, like before it really became like a big meme, and it was just like this guy on Twitter is like, I fucking hate this guy. Look at his stupid face, and it was like the picture of him all like angry, screaming, "I am a surgeon." It's like, look at this idiot's stupid face. I
I
hate
mean,
this guy. Same concept of
I
the.
find I find
Go ahead.
that the like I could not watch The Good Doctor. I can't sit down and watch an episode
Have you
because
seen it
it
at all?
bothers. I have seen it before, and it
Uh,
bothers me. I just can't watch it now.
what bothers you?
I
His face. You said you hate his stupid fucking face so much you don't want to watch the show.
no. Um,
It's not a bad show. At least the first I've seen like
it's not
three
a bad
seasons of
show,
it.
but I already know what it's all about. It's just some dude who's autistic and he has a thing for being a surgeon, so he just knows. Like
Mhm.
after you know that, every single episode you're like, "Oh, in this episode he's going to find some weird shit that's going to be wrong with this dude that no one thinks is right." And then while doing so, he's going to have a very messed up like personal relationship because he's autistic, so he lacks the the social skills to deal with
And
that
cues, yeah.
properly. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, Whereas like I could watch House and at least I get like a funny dude who's
What do you
hella
mean, bro? It's
sarcastic.
it's it's funny watching him yell, "I am a surgeon." It's so
I mean,
funny,
yeah, but that's one scene. Like House,
dude.
every
What do you
episode's
mean?
like,
It's in every episode. What do you mean, bro? It's
oh
literally in
yeah,
every
definitely.
episode. He tells them he's a surgeon.
I am Dr. Sean Murphy, surgeon. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's just not the type of show for me. It took
I don't
my
know. I feel like
what?
every medical show or like every hospital show, hospital drama is all kind of like that. You know, they're all similar where some patient comes in with something wrong that they think is wrong, and then it's like, it turns out, whoa, this is actually really serious. We need to do something else. I mean, we need to do this right away. And then, something, boom, the miracle, something happens. Oh, some random person donated their kidney to this 5-year-old girl that was in need. Like it's just, I don't know.
Or
I feel
that's
like every
like
episode
some
goes
of
the
them
same way.
some of them Reddit stories where this dude was
Oh
a
my
organ donor,
god.
and he just happened to meet with the parents of the dude who he got like his heart or kidney or something like that, and then
Hmm.
they're like, "Oh my god, you have like the same interests as him. It's
Dude,
it's a perfect match. Y'all are the same person."
that's exactly like an episode of Shameless. Have you seen that episode yet?
Yes, I've seen that episode.
Yeah, we're okay. If anyone hasn't seen Shameless, it's been out forever, so fuck you. Where Frank gets the liver
Yeah,
after
Frank
his
gets a
fails,
liver, and then the
from like the high school kid that dies in like a car accident or something, and then like he goes to the dude's house. He's
no,
like,
he gets
"My,
it was a home invasion, and he died to the robber. He got shot.
oh, that's right. I remember that now. Yeah, because
Yeah,
the dad was like, I should have been there. But
I
yeah, the
should have been
dad
there.
like, whenever Frank sat in the seat that his son would always sit in, my son used to sit in that seat. He's here. I sense. He's like, I remember that. Yeah, similar thing.
And then
If anyone hasn't watched Shameless, it's a fucking wild show, but it's
the
kind of
dad's
interesting.
like a cuck too, because Frank fucks the wife.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
wild show. Wild show. If you're over 18 and want something that's just so out of pocket, like every episode, go watch it. It's pretty good for the first like 6 seasons. I've stopped watching it, or I've slowed down on watching it. It's not as often anymore.
Yeah, I'm on episode. I'm on season 6, I think. Still, I don't know.
Dang, bro, you
I've
getting
started
tired or
watching
you just bored? You bored or tired? Which one, bro?
neither. I just needed to yawn. I
Uh-huh.
think one of the dogs yawned, so it's contagious. No, I started
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
iRobot again. Um, that show is
Oh,
amazing.
show. Oh,
iRobot.
with what's his name from that one movie? Oh my god, I only remember that dude from one movie, and it's the
He's in a few.
fucking the car movie. What's the
Need for Speed.
Fast? No, no, Need for Speed. Yeah, I was thinking it was a video game
He's
title,
in there
but I
for like
forgot.
6 minutes and he dies.
Hey man, he gets naked. Okay.
I mean, okay, yeah, you're right. It's kind of a memorable
He
scene.
gets naked. Yeah,
Oh wait, no, I'm
exactly.
thinking of
So
someone else who dies. He doesn't die. Um,
no, that's the other
he's
guy.
also in.
His other friend.
He plays Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Never seen it.
That movie is amazing. You should watch it.
Hmm.
Have you seen the Weird Al movie?
No.
No, that movie is also funny. It's got Daniel Radcliffe in it. Harry Potter.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, really?
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Um, and
He
it's
does
just
other
funny.
things besides Harry Potter.
Surprisingly. Well, so what I find funny whenever you have like a huge series like Harry Potter, Hunger Games, right? You have like the
Hmm.
supporting actors who weren't really that important, but they keep pocketing off of it. Like
Oh yeah, they
two
go to other shit.
examples is I don't know if you knew this, but the dude who plays Malfoy in Harry. Have you seen Harry Potter?
No. I mean, I've
Oh,
seen like my mom loves it, so I've sat and like watched parts of it with
okay.
her when
Do you
I
know
was
who
younger and shit.
Malfoy
But like,
is?
no, I have no clue.
Okay. Do you know who the Slytherin house is?
I know the Slytherin house, yes,
Okay, okay.
like the
So
name.
Malfoy is in the Slytherin house in the movies.
Is
Okay.
he the blonde kid?
Yeah, he's the blonde. Uh,
He's like the blonde brat.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
And
I
but
just
his
I don't know from the
character, the
name.
dude that plays him,
Hmm.
is like whenever the Hogwarts game came out, this dude is banking in. Like he did like a sit down and play through, and he started crying because he's like, "Oh my god, all the memories from whenever I acted in this." And the dude's like in his almost 30 by now,
Hmm.
right? And so I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, this sounds exactly like the dude who plays Jesse from the first Fast and Furious, right? Not a popular film, just like it by now it's like a cult film. Uh Actually,
Never seen it.
I think technically it would be a cult classic. But in the first Fast and Furious, there's this dude named Jesse. He drives he's got a Volkswagen
Hmm.
GTI, and then he loses a race, and then he's killed. He's killed off in the first game, in the first thing. And
Hmm.
the dude who plays him, he has the car that he drove. He was gifted that car. But this
Yeah.
dude, if you go on his TikTok, everything that he does has to do with Fast and Furious.
Hmm.
He has no
Yeah, like
other like he hasn't been in a movie since 2001. It's been 21 years since this dude's
mhm.
been in a movie related to the series, and he's still banking on that.
Yeah, like I was gonna say
And
earlier.
I can't tell
I
if
feel
it
like when
bothers
you
me or
mentioned
not because
like Daniel
it's
Radcliffe
like
or like
I wonder how many
Jennifer Lawrence and like the
other
Hunger Games
examples
and
I
stuff.
could
I
come
feel
up
like
with if I
whenever
thought about it.
actors commit
But the
to a
fact that you're like
series like
raking in
that,
on money just
it's
because.
hard. It's hard for them to. I feel like a lot of times it's hard for them to like branch out to other things without them just being known as the person who did this, and it's just like
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know. I feel like
definitely. Well,
it's
that's
been
like
like
with the Batman movie and oh man, what's that? What's that actor's name? But
mhm.
his it's the same. I think it's Evan S. something. But anyway, so we played the Batman in the new Batman movie, right?
Mhm.
Evan Peterson. There you go. And but he was also the dude from Twilight. So think about it. It's kind of hard to not be the dude from Twilight, right?
Mhm.
Um, because of how big the movies were.
Mhm.
So whenever he played Batman, I was excited to watch it because it's very nice how you can watch someone who plays this character in a huge movie be another character in this movie and be
Mhm.
completely different types of characters.
Yeah, I feel like whenever a character or like whenever someone is in a like a series or like a movie series or show series for a while, they're pretty much whenever they act in other things, you can just pretty much tell that like
Well,
they're
that's why
acting like the
I
other person,
think
like the other movie.
I think people sleep on Dwayne Johnson sometimes because they all assume he's like just this action hero who does action movies, right?
Well, he plays the same character in every movie.
He does not, though.
He kind of does. Same with what's his name, Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is
Ryan
like the
Reynolds,
same in every
Ryan
movie.
Reynolds Ryan Reynolds and Adam Sandler both play the same exact character in every movie, but Dwayne Johnson
But it
can play
works.
different characters. So when he's first introduced, or actually in the Fast and Furious series in general, right? He doesn't make a lot of jokes. He's a very serious, like law professor guy, right?
Yeah.
Not professor, but police force special agent guy, right?
Hmm.
Well, then you watch like Tooth Fairy with him, and he's making all these jokes, right? And he's like in a comedy film, or in that movie with Ryan Reynolds, like he's doing a comedy bit, or the movie with Kevin Hart, like he's doing a comedy bit, and he's not serious at all for any of it.
I mean,
And
I don't know. I still feel like even in
it's like
any like every movie I've seen him in, he still
he is
plays like he
definitely
acts the same. I feel like.
he is definitely a different person in like Fast Five. He doesn't make any jokes in Fast Five,
Hmm.
and
I mean,
he
he's also
actually,
been an actor his whole life, pretty much. He joined the WWE. That's acting.
yeah, well, he transitioned pretty well into not acting.
Yeah. So did what's
John
something
Cena's a pretty
Batista,
good actor.
John Cena, and David Batista. I think that's his first
Yeah,
name. The guy
Batista.
in
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy. He plays that part really well.
Well, I mean, he's got to be a stupid hunk, and it's kind of easy to play a stupid hunk.
It is pretty easy, I
Like,
feel like, but he's still. I don't know.
I mean, he does it pretty good. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
he does a good job at it. Plus, it's just cool. I used to watch him on WWE doing the Batista bomb back in the day. It's cool watching him in movies now.
I mean,
I mean, same with The Rock too.
I always,
Hey, I'm all for The
I
Rock getting his
ruined,
bag.
I
He
ruined
is.
WWE for myself because I knew from
What?
day one it was fake, and I was like, I don't want to watch this.
Oh,
This
I
is fake.
mean, I don't know. Yeah, I found out. I realized it was fake, but I still, enjoyed it. It was. It's like watching a football game. It's
I had
entertainment.
friends. I had friends because when that was popular was when I was in before I moved to Texas.
Hmm.
Well, I had friends who thought it was real, and I was like, the E is entertainment.
Yeah.
Everything's fake.
It's like World Wrestling Entertainment, right? Something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It used to be World
I don't know.
Wrestling Federation, but then the WWF, which is the World Wildlife Federation,
Mm.
sued them for the same name,
Oh,
and yeah, so they changed
I
it
feel
to
like I feel
entertainment.
like they'd take the dub in court. I feel like a jury would side with them.
Oh yeah, like a World Wildlife
Yeah,
Foundation.
wildlife conservation
Yeah.
versus a wrestling what you
Could you
call it,
imagine if it didn't go
organization.
that way, and they
I
became
don't
the
know.
WWC, World Wildlife Conservation?
I feel like it wouldn't be any different now. Besides, we called the WWE WWF because I feel like it would
Yeah.
still, even if it, you know, I mean, I know back then, at least at the beginning, I'm sure it was real wrestling and all that, and then
No,
of
it
course
was
it was
never.
like, really?
Yeah,
I
it
thought it
was
started
never.
out as like a real wrestling, and then they kind of just
Maybe in the
upped the
very
ante.
beginning, but then they were like, wait a minute, we can just bet a bunch of money on these people and then just make a bunch of money off of this?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
So
I don't know. I don't know the history behind it, but I feel like
if I remember this right, whenever because I was listening to an episode of the Joe Rogan podcast, and the it had to do with the start of the UFC, right? And the reason why
mm,
UFC was started was because WWE was growing massively in the 90s, right?
mm-hmm.
So a group of people were like, "Hey, we're going to start a UFC thing where it's real fighting, like real like cage matches, like real complete fighting." And it's going to be like an MMA, like mixed martial arts deal, and we're going to call it the Ultimate Fighter Championship. I believe that's still what UFC stands for, but don't quote me. And it literally, there was 2 fights that if they didn't go as planned, the whole thing would have just fallen, because it was 2 underdog matchups where the underdog was projected to get his ass handed to him and then end up winning.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe those were fixed, but I don't know if UFC is fixed or not. It's it's surprising how easy it is to fix matches like that, regardless of. I mean, you could fix any match, really.
Yeah, I feel like every sport, even like football, I bet there's probably some sort
I
of
know for a
thing like
fact
that.
football is fixed.
Really, you know for a fact. What's your proof?
All right, all right. Look at the cities. Actually, this goes for all major sports. Look at cities that have a natural disaster, and then how many years it takes them to win a national championship in a sport.
Probably not very long
All
after.
right. So there's 2 very good examples. One is New Orleans.
The
Okay.
Saints, yeah.
So Hurricane Katrina comes in. They are a dog shit team, right? Um,
Yeah.
the next year they win the Super Bowl, and of course the Super Bowl's given to their home stadium because they just got this brand new stadium, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we take the good old Astros with after Hurricane Harvey and the flood the next year. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then they win the World Series. Now,
Mm-hmm.
that one's a little bit different because they were a pretty good team beforehand, but still, like that just made it that much easier for them to win the World Series. It's just, oh,
Mm-hmm.
look, they finally did it. They won the World Series.
Yeah.
And it's like
Also, like,
stuff like that just it's New Orleans especially. Like you have a team that was doing all right beforehand, all of a sudden they're just immediately winning the Super Bowl. Like when the Seahawks were doing good, they had like a constant like 4 year run of making it to like the top 4 or to the Super Bowl.
mm-hmm.
So it's just it made too when I like that was about the time I quit watching football. Was because I was like, this is this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I feel like if something came out to where they're like, super or football, like the NFL is, rigged and it's all just. I mean, I saw something on Twitter I think a while ago. There was like the NFL is registered as an entertainment network, not a sports network. I don't know, something like that. And it's like, you know,
Oh, as
it's
a
internet.
it's so whenever it's registered as it's a LLC, not LLC, but it's business papers. It's an entertainment industry and not in the sports industry.
Yeah, I don't know, something like that. And I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely there for that reason.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
pretty
it's
sus.
hard to find sports that are completely skill oriented. That's why I think the Olympics are so popular.
Yeah, that is true. I feel like worldwide sports, it's kind of harder to do that. You know?
Oh yeah, like you would have to do some like new world order type shit
Yeah, that I feel like
against
yeah,
countries that
Olympics.
that don't get along.
Yeah, I feel like Olympics are somewhat not rigged. I feel like they're
I feel like
probably
they're
not
not
if
rigged
there's
at all.
anything.
I do find it funny that if you look at like there was something about like how like racial integration into some other sports was, and but you
Mm-hmm.
look at like the North Korean, the Chinese team from like skiing, and they all look like North Koreans or Chinese people, and then you
Mm-hmm.
look at the U.S. and you got like a white dude, a black dude, a Mexican, and some Japanese dude, all on the same
Yeah.
team.
Hey man, that's just the U.S. of A. Baby. We're just
Yeah.
diverse like that.
Well, it's also
Yeah.
funny because there's a lot of like I know the U.S. hockey team is weird because it'll be a lot of people who play on Canadian hockey teams, but they were born in the U.S., so they can't play in Canadian hockey teams or play for
Mm-hmm.
Canada's what you call it, Canada's Olympic team. So they have to play in the U.S. team, and then they end up playing against people that like their colleagues.
Mhm.
I find that
Speaking
funny.
of speaking of Canada, actually, I found something out the other day that I thought was actually pretty fucking funny. So, do you remember Johnny Football?
Yeah.
Apparently, the other day I was looking up. He plays in a Canadian football league now.
You mean Johnny Manziel?
Yeah, he plays in a
Yeah,
Canadian league
yeah,
now
that's
for
yeah,
football.
yeah. He plays in the CFL.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was funny. I was like, dang, he really
Yeah,
blew it all.
he's really the next prodigy of NFL. Totally.
Hey, man, they really thought, and then he partied too
You know my
much and got in trouble, and then boom, he was gone.
so in a roundabout way, my dad knew the family of him.
Really?
Yeah, they were big in they were in oil, made rich by oil field
Gotcha.
or cattle or
Well,
something like that.
the reason I found it too, because I was talking about a certain someone from our high school that went to a professional sports league. If you know who I'm talking about.
You want to type it so I know? I think I know, but I want you to type it just so
I,
I can be sure.
there's no way you don't know, because he came back to our school.
All I know is the basketball.
Yeah,
Oh,
the guy who played
yeah,
basketball.
yeah. Okay, okay.
And I was like, I was talking to some people about it. I was like, yeah, actually, some guy from our high school went to the
Is he
NBA and
in
stuff.
profession?
And they were like, and then now he played. He had his first season, I guess, was okay, and then I was looking at his stats, and like his first season was okay, and then like the second season was pretty bad, and his third season he had like hardly any play time. And then now he actually plays. I don't know if I should say this. Yeah, now he actually
Oh,
plays in
I'm
a
looking it up.
freaking
I'm looking it up.
European league.
Yeah, yeah. I see it.
He
I see it.
plays in a European league now for basketball, and we're just like, oh,
Yeah, he
that
was like
sucks,
the shit, and then
dude. He did really well in high school and in college, but then he just, dropped out of college to go to the. I don't know if I should be saying this. This might be doxing us.
I mean he did good in
Eh,
the NBA, but he was
I don't know. Fuck it. But yeah, yeah. Then he
he just
played in college.
I think
Then
he's too
went to
short.
then went to. Well,
I'm gonna
he's
be
like
honest.
5'11".
Yeah, he is 5'11". He's just too short. Basketball's like 6 foot or taller. No exceptions. Sorry, kid.
Mm-hmm.
Get bigger
Yeah.
heels. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. That's just
Yeah. I
wild.
remember
I
he
thought it was
was like the
funny.
shit, and then like
And then now, no, I bet the school was not talking about him now. I bet he is no
they probably
longer
still talk about him. They're like, "Hey, we had a dude that went to the NBA because he was in the NBA for a good while,
for 2 seasons, for or two like 3 seasons actually I think.
2019 to
But but
2022."
but yeah, I feel like we're further doxing ourselves now, and people can easily find out who this is, especially since we said his height and everything.
I don't know. I feel like our podcast isn't tailored towards people who know basketball that well.
Yeah, that's true. But still, I don't know. I mean, I doubt anyone really would care to. I
It's
don't know.
on Wikipedia. It's not like
Yeah,
it's
it is. It is.
all right. Now, if you want to know my address,
My last four, my social. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
just stick 4 zeros at the end. That's my social.
Okay, if you could play any professional sport, though, what would you play?
F1 by
Oh,
far.
yeah, that would be cool. Okay, actually, no, sorry. The reason I thought about that is because we were talking about the Olympics earlier. What Olympic sport would you play? Actually, how about that? If
Olympic
you had to do
sport,
any Olympic sport, what would you do?
bobsledding.
Dude, you fucking stole my answer. Dude, I was gonna be like, yeah, dude, bobsledding. You'd hop in the sled and go
You just hop in the
wee
sled and
down the
go
freaking
wee all the way
tube.
down.
Lean a little bit with your homies, dude. Yeah,
Bro said, "Lean with me."
man, lean with me, lean. Damn, you freaking dude, you stole what I was gonna say. Fuck you.
Well, we just been on a bobsledding team together.
True. We could be in that bobsled. Me, you, and then some other guy. We need to
Um,
do. Why don't they just put some big dudes in there? That way they got weight to it. You know. I guess they
they
can't
do.
fit though.
They
Those
usually
things are
put the
tiny.
back two are bigger people,
Yeah, but
but it
still,
all
it
has to
looks
do
like
to
a
muscle
tight
mass.
squeeze in one of them.
It is. They usually have like hella fit people though,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
is
yeah,
which is
for
not
sure.
which is not me by far. I'm not the
Yeah.
demographic.
Hey, man. If you hit the gym enough, maybe, and maybe take some steroids.
Definitely. Yeah, I feel like there is a very high probability that a lot of Olympic athletes take roids.
Would you? Yeah. You remember the story about the Olympic runner who tested for what weed in her system and it like ruined her chances. I don't know. I forgot. It was a big deal. I remember that.
Some bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I don't know.
I don't know. This year, like 2023, I started being like a devil's advocate for whenever situations like that pop up.
What do you
Um,
mean? Like saying like it's stupid?
so I had a teacher at some point in time tell me the most important rule. Actually, no, my dad also told me this, but the most important rule in any debate is being able to debate both sides, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I will debate both sides. Like I've debated both sides of like any all your major like political issues right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I find it funny because I can. A nice thing about the app called Twitter is people get offended easily.
Yeah.
So regardless of what side they're on, if you can argue for it and win that argument, then it's it just breeds hilarious comments towards you.
Yeah. I guess like for that situation, the Olympics weed situation, I guess I could. So like the one side is it's weed. I feel like nowadays it's not that big of a deal. But also, if you're an Olympic athlete and you know you shouldn't be doing that, then why would you? I feel like both sides like that. There's
Yeah,
two sides to that.
but also
I
weed
don't know.
has zero performance enhancing abilities,
No, yeah, it does not. But they
so
just
it
don't want. I
shouldn't
don't
matter
know.
for an athlete in general.
No, it'd make him.
It'd make them worse.
But it'd
Actually,
make me perform worse, dude. I'd be if I had to run after
no
smoking
one
a
ever.
joint.
That's like getting drunk before doing
Your
like
your
something.
driving test.
Yeah, your driving test. The only thing it helps is like Slavic states and Ireland. That's the only thing it helps.
It helps them drive normal there.
Yeah, they drive normal all day. But the like any like that was why whenever Adderall got hella popular and all them like esports people were getting banned because they had Adderall
Hmm.
in their system. Like
That's kind
I
of
don't know.
performance enhancing though, a little
It's
bit. I feel
very
like.
performant. It is a performance enhancer. It's an upper. Any upper it should be considered a performance
Yeah,
enhancer.
any amphetamine, yeah.
Yeah. Like methamphetamine.
Well, I mean, Adderall is methamphetamine, pretty much, just a
Yeah.
very low dose of it.
Do you still have it, or is that just like a one-time thing?
I still have a bag full of pills, yeah. Actually, I got like freaking 15 of them still.
No.
I've only taken one.
See, but I still find it funny. I've been meaning to try it. I've been meaning to try it, um, because
I don't
I
know.
don't.
I've heard
I
it's
generally
different.
have no clue if it's going to be an upper or a downer for me.
Yeah, I feel like it's different for everyone. For me, it was definitely I don't know about a downer, but I was more mellow for sure, and like my mind
The
was more
voices went
clear.
away.
There's no, I don't hear any more scratching on my walls. The
my
bugs
floor,
are not
my
crawling on my skin.
floorboards are empty.
Sounds like my freaking neighbor, my old neighbor below me. She actually moved out.
Oh,
I
she
don't
moved
know if I
out.
told you that. The
Wow.
schizo neighbor below me. Yeah. Have I talked about this on the podcast?
Yes, I believe you have.
Is this the schizo? Well, I have some new information actually.
Oh,
Apparently, okay.
well,
Since COVID.
so TLDR,
Oh
um,
yeah.
neighbor under apartment is weird and a schizo, and leaves her would leave her apartment like twice a year.
Yeah, leave her
That's
apartment
the
like at
TLDR.
least from what I saw. I mean, also, I was kind of the same for a good while, but yeah, she just from what I've heard, she thinks everyone's out to get her and she's schizo. Um, I heard okay from a guy that lives in the complex with me. I was out drinking with him today at the pool, and that's kind of why I've been drinking since 2 in the afternoon, and it is now. It's the whole 12 hours actually, but
Look at
it's
that.
been a slow. It's been a
What time did you wake up
seltzer
today?
here and there. Today like 9.
I had to make myself go to sleep hella late last night
Mm-hmm.
because so my girlfriend is dog sitting at a client's house, and she said
Yeah,
she was gonna surprise me this morning. So I had to make sure I
surprise
was
you.
gonna be yeah, like winky face surprise. So I had to
Oh,
make sure I was asleep because
yeah.
I wanted her to make sure that she got the feeling of surprising me. Um,
I got you. I got you.
yeah, and then we were almost late to go to
Anyways,
Top Golf, but that's besides the point.
yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, so the dude in my complex was telling me since COVID, they've been trying to get her out. I don't really know why. I guess she's just a big nuisance or something. Because he was saying he talks to the people at the lobby or someone at the lobby. He's friends with them, so he kind of gets the tea. And there's even been like a lawsuit trying to get her out. Apparently,
Oh, okay.
um, he told me a story with his encounter with her. Apparently, he
Huh?
was walking his dog outside. So, uh, part of the parking lot, it's like there's the parking spaces and the curb, and there's like I'd say like a good like 6 feet of grass after, or like from the curb to the edge of to the gate or to the wall or fence.
Yeah.
And there's like a a little dispenser for dog bags or doggy shit bags. Yeah, dog shit bags. There we go. I'll just say that. So people walk their dogs around in there, and he was walking his dog out there one day, and his dog I guess was chilling. He was walking in front of her car, and as she was like walking up, he said that he felt like her phone was angled up like she was recording him, but he was like, I don't know, that's just how she holds her phone or something like that. And then his dog was sitting there. I guess it was actually taking a shit. His dog was taking a shit, and then she like gets in her car and then she rolls her window down with her phone still like recording him. And then she was like, hey, what are you doing in front of my car? Like, why are you next to my car? And he's like, well, my dog's taking a shit. So, and then apparently some dude from the balcony above in the apartment, like my neighbors actually. So I found out they're a lot cooler than I thought. Um, One of them yelled out, "Leave him alone, you crazy bitch!" And then apparently the guy was like, "Yeah, she's some schizo bitch. She's a yeah, fuck her." Like just absolutely just tearing into her. Um, and then yeah, apparently she got upset and started to leave.
Wow.
It's just I was like, dang, yeah. The only encounter I had with her was her asking me a lot of questions and seemed like she was, I don't know, just trying to figure me out. And
What
I don't
questions
know.
did you?
It
Oh, I
was
remember those.
well, she was
Yeah, you
like,
told me.
where do did you just move in? Where do you live? Like how long are you gonna stay? Stuff
I'm
like
in your
that.
walls.
Just yeah, she was probably in my walls. I don't know.
I'm in your no, no. You were in her walls. Just tell her that. I'll figure out.
Yeah, another schizo thing that she did, I might have mentioned on the podcast. I don't know. I think we're getting to the point now. We might be repeating stories soon, but she would put anytime there was like a notice for like people like inspections for either like the fire alarms or something. Usually they do.
Yeah, you've told
You know
us
what I mean.
before. You've told us before.
Yeah, yeah. Every time there's something like that, she had a note, take like a big piece of
Yep.
paper with Sharpie bold written on the
Do
door.
not
Do not
enter.
enter
Yep.
if I'm not here. Stuff like that.
We
So
they
yeah,
don't
I don't know.
listen here when we do that. We've done that
Oh,
twice where we're like, hey, just don't enter. Because our
mm,
dogs don't like it when random people enter through the front door.
yeah.
And then they bark, and then we get a complaint for them barking, and then it's like, bro, what the fuck? But now we have so the floor above us is vacant, and
Mm-hmm.
so ours is I told you ours is like inverted from yours, right? Because you have stairs on either side of yours, right?
No. Oh, what do you mean? Like if I walk out of my door and go left, there's stairs, and go right, there's stairs. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay.
guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. So we only have stairs in the center. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So we have so we have like directly on the back side is another apartment, and then um so like both it's kind of split into halves. Each building is in halves, right? Our half, the second floor is completely empty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So like we'll fucking light it up like 420 and not give a shit because it's got to go through two floors to get to someone who cares.
Yeah.
And even then, I've caught them smoking pot before, so it's not a big deal for me.
Yeah. Honestly, if I smell it around here, which I have a few times, I don't care. Whatever.
I don't think anyone should
You know.
care.
No. I mean, I don't.
Like we got
If I'm walking around
reported
outside and
once
smell it, yeah, you told me
because
that.
yeah, that was some dumb. But yeah, it's getting reported and for some bullshit is not fun. Um, it's but if you get reported for something that makes sense, that's that's fine.
Yeah, I really expected to from my neighbor below me, but no. But I'm sure the reason but that my neighbors hate me is she probably called noise complaints for them playing music or something because they do quite a bit. And I don't care as long as it's not like on a weekday late at night. Usually in the weekends they play it later, which I
I
don't care.
am
I'm usually playing
completely
games.
I'm like a complete 180 from my girlfriend.
Oh, does she really care if people do that?
She does only because like I have headphones on 90% of the time. She doesn't.
Hmm.
So like we had neighbors above us who had a kid, and you could hear the kid stomping. I never heard the kid stomping because I got headphones on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't care. Like they can play music. It really doesn't bother me unless it's
Yeah,
like I'm trying to sleep and it's like late. And when I go to sleep, usually it's midnight, 1, 2. So if they're playing music, then that's when I'm like, okay, that's you don't need to calm down over there. But other than that, I don't care.
yeah. I've
You
never
know,
really.
I try to be chill. I don't have problems with them. I know they're college kids like me too, so they're just having a good time. So why would I want to ruin that? Just apartment things. I want to get a house one day, but who knows if I'll be able to afford one day with how things are going.
Over here, owning a house is less than your rent.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
that's true.
we've talked about it, but with the fact that there's a possibility that I might not like I might work back in Houston, there's no point in buying a house.
Hmm. Yeah, maybe when my girlfriend moves in, and we more stable and less worried about paying rent. Which right now I'm not too worried about it. I got a job and making money. Um, I don't know. Yeah, maybe eventually. I feel like me. I definitely right now probably could never. No, not right now. Not with school and all that. But when I graduate and she graduates and we move in together, and probably like a couple years after that, hopefully we'll be able to afford a house.
Yeah, hopefully the market crashes by then. That's
Yeah, I
really
was
what
telling
we're
her.
waiting on. I told my girlfriend, I was like, look, if the market crashes before you're ready to move in somewhere, it doesn't matter. We got to move in somewhere because you're never gonna find a house cheaper than when the market crashes.
Hmm. I was thinking of telling my girlfriend or Jane. I think that's her name. I don't care. But I was thinking of telling her like, if we buy a house here, kind of close to the city, live there for a bit, I'm sure the value of it will go up. I mean, most of the time, I'd say ninety
Unless the
percent of
city
the
turns
time,
to garbage.
yeah. But I really doubt it. Um, so I mean, I don't know. Own a house for a bit. The value, I mean, land value usually pretty much only goes up. Uh, you know, have it for a while, and then sell it, and then move like up north somewhere. I feel
Wyoming.
like that.
What are we
Yeah,
moving to
I don't know.
Wyoming?
Somewhere with a little bit of land and maybe a house on it already, or maybe build one. I don't know. But who knows
I
with the
told my
price of
girlfriend,
lumber
I was like, I want to
nowadays?
move to Wyoming.
Yeah, I would be
I was
down to
like, I
move
was
up
like, I
there.
want to start like some business that I can work from my house in, and that just it doesn't need to make a lot of money, just enough for me to live on, right?
Hmm.
And I'll do it from Wyoming.
I saw a freaking crazy TikTok the other day. This dude's like, "Yeah, here's my morning view," and it's like this crazy ass view. And can you guess what state he was in?
Wyoming.
No, fucking Iowa.
Oh, he was
This
on the
dude's living in
backside.
Iowa on like the edge of a cliff, dude. His house like backs up to a
Yeah, yeah.
fucking cliff. Dude, it was sick. I would love to have a
The
view
one
like that.
desirable spot in Iowa, and he has one.
True,
He's probably into real
true.
estate or some shit.
Yeah, homie's been waiting for that house or land to go up for sale for years before he finally decided I'm gonna buy it. He's been watching it. But yeah, I would love to live a place like that. Somewhere with a nice view, some little bit of land. Oh, I would love a lot of land, but and that's I know by the time I get old enough to be able to afford
I
that
told
shit, it's probably gonna be more expensive than it is. Or I know it's gonna be more expensive than it is now, but it's gonna be stupid expensive.
I told my girlfriend I was like, I want to live in Wyoming. I want to live in like just outside of like a medium sized city, so that I can just be me and not really have to worry about what anyone else does, and then make just enough money for like us, and that'll be perfectly fine with me. I don't need to be making like 200K plus a year
Oh,
to
I
to
want to make
be.
that.
I mean, I
That's
would
what I
like
want
to make
to.
that, but
That shit, that would be nice
if
right
I could
there.
like if I were to need to like stay in the area I'm in making that much money, or if I could make like 85K a year in Wyoming, I'd take 85K a year all day long.
I'd probably take the 200 plus K
No, I
here
don't.
in Texas.
I don't like.
I want to live somewhere with no state income tax. That's what I want. Especially if you're making 200
Oh
plus
yeah.
K a year,
Well, that's
that
why
shit's
I
going
told.
just going
So
away.
um, I had an email from a installation job that was
Hmm.
back in Texas, and I was telling her, I was like, look, there's no state income tax for Texas, so this is the amount I would make per year,
Hmm.
and that's that. I mean, I would have to take out federal, but federal's not that
Well, yeah,
much.
federal's for everyone, anyways, regardless.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah.
I told her I was like, look, I was like, I know we have like this other business that we got going on, but this would make double the amount of money that like this would make the same amount of money that like her and I combined make in 1 month.
Hmm.
I was like,
Yeah.
it's worth it for the move, and then I know you can get a job somewhere. So
Yeah.
I was like, if this works out, that'll be how it is because my mom already told me that as long as like if we can pay the bills at her house, we can have her house or like at least
Really.
rent it, sort of like a situation like that.
Hmm.
Well, because
That'd be good.
she spends most of her time with her boyfriend anyway. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
yeah,
There you go. That'd be good. That'd be a good deal.
I told her I was
I
like,
don't
I'm
know.
all for that if we can pay like the rent. I don't mind it. It's a nice
Yeah.
house. It would be enough room for me to have like an office area, you know.
Hmm.
So it's fine by me. And
I
it's
was
got a
talking to
garage.
Jane about something like that. Like I don't know. It was a while ago, but yeah, like I was telling her, like I want to live somewhere with no state income tax. So if we move up north, it'd have to be like Wyoming or I don't know, like there's a couple that
Wyoming doesn't have a state income tax.
yeah, it's like I don't think so. It's
Oh,
like
I would
Wyoming
tenfold work
or
there.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Wyoming. That's why I was telling you I want to move there, or I would love to
There's
move there. It's like Wyoming or Oregon. I don't think Oregon does,
well,
which
Oregon's
is
like
surprising.
northwest, not north.
Hold on.
What
Because I
about
was telling
business income
her,
tax? Because most of those situations you get into, where you can do something like that, that you end up getting screwed because it's got like a business income tax.
Mhm. Okay, so yeah, Wyoming doesn't, Washington does not, South Dakota, Nevada, Florida, Tennessee, and Texas all have no. Oh, and New Hampshire, surprisingly.
Oh. Tennessee's a beautiful state. You're gonna find
Yeah.
out later.
Mhm. Yeah, when I go there in November. But yeah, I was telling her because she wants to go into dental, go be a dentist and all that. And I think this is back when I was still wanting to go be a doctor and all that. Um, I
Crazy
was like,
times.
yeah, I was like, look, if we live somewhere with state income tax, this is, like I was like telling her like with how much we would make combined, we would be paying almost half of our income in taxes.
Oh, you'd be in the if y'all filed jointly, which you
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't file jointly anyway after you're making that much money.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
you would be in like I believe the 40 something percentile for how much you would pay into taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was like 42, 44%, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some bullshit.
I don't know. I couldn't fathom earning that much money and paying
Yeah, imagine like you earn
almost.
230K a year and you got to pay 100 something thousand a year into taxes.
Yeah, if you make in certain states, if you
I'd
make
start a
that much,
revolution.
you have to pay 100 and something. Like you have to pay almost a
I
hundred k
would
in
like
taxes.
Boston Tea Party wouldn't know what was happening at that point.
It's just wild. I, I don't know. It baffles me.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I try to
completely
keep
forgot about
okay
that.
on a political scale and all that. I try to say I like to say I'm pretty center, maybe a little right leaning on some things.
Well,
Which
most people, like, besides what political parties want you to think, most people are in the middle.
yeah, no, there's
And
just
that's
the extremes
perfectly
that are
fine.
loud on social media.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's what
that's
it
like
really
perfect.
it's
It's
like mostly
perfectly
is.
fine to be in the middle and be like right or left leaning.
Yeah.
Um, the problem is that a lot of people want you to think that you're further than you actually are.
Hmm.
And that's where, like,
Well, that's the tribalism that Twitter
yeah.
inspires people
I
to
don't know.
act like.
I told Jordan from day one, I was like, look, I'm not like right, left leaning. I'm just like a dick.
Yeah.
Like, there's some things that I believe in that you're like, why? That's just a stupid thing. And then other things you're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So
I just would like to keep my money. that's that's my political
I was telling her about,
views. I want to keep my money.
I got a friend from high school who he jumped into the, you know when someone gets into like looking as to why their like checks aren't as big as they are, and then they end up just hating the government.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this guy did, and I was like, yes, another one.
Who are you talking about?
I will type. Let me type his name.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, okay. I don't mind getting taxed. I feel like taxes are pretty essential for things.
I feel like they're not.
Like roads and schools and all that. Um,
At one point in time, I
I
also
just
believed
don't
them.
want to spend almost half my income in taxes. That's just I don't know.
Yeah.
I like a good
So,
20
what's
percent of my
crazy?
income. I'd be fine with,
What's
especially
cr-
if I was making that much.
what's crazy to me? You
Mm.
can take how the United States was doing in all of its categories in the '60s and compare it to now,
Mm-hmm.
and the only difference is that we've gotten worse in all of those categories, but yet we've had like it's like from 60 billion dollars in debt to like $400 trillion in debt.
Mm-hmm. I think that's
And
what you're talking about. Yeah.
like I saw that graph like today or yesterday or something like that, and I was like, yeah, that's just dumb. We pay so much in taxes and we don't get anything in return.
No, we still have shitty roads. Shitty roads and
I mean, you
shitty
think if you think
schools.
Texas is bad, you should see Louisiana. But I
Yeah,
used to
probably.
think that roads was needed for like taxes were needed for roads, and then Domino's came around. I don't know if you remember what Domino's did.
I remember the pothole freaking
Yeah, they
thing that
were
they came
going
out with.
around filling potholes because their delivery vehicles kept like messing up pizzas.
Hmm.
Like that's the perfect like for people who don't believe in taxes, that's the perfect argument right there.
Hmm.
Is this company said, "Hey, this isn't working for us because you're not making good enough roads, so we're going to fix it for you."
Hmm.
Like if that was applied everywhere, I feel like there wouldn't be like a real reason for taxes.
Yeah. Well,
And
it's not okay for me. It's not just like the shitty roads, which I mean, I don't know. I feel like most of the roads, at least in Texas that I've driven on and stuff, they're fine. It's just whenever they do construction, those government contracts they do, they take their fucking time on that shit, standing around. Any listener here would know or has experienced this, I bet, with construction, at least somewhere near their house, I bet, for on a road, and it takes almost years, I bet, for some places, years to do things. Which I mean, I know it's not going to be an overnight process, but you know, I'm sure
at
they could
least
get that shit done quicker,
at least
and there's got
Texas
to be a
does
better
it
way.
a bit better than like Louisiana. So
Yeah.
Louisiana takes that long, and then they put one layer of of uh, of pavement down, right?
Hmm.
Texas does like a whole concrete layer. So most Texas roads are concrete,
Rebar. Yeah.
right? Louisiana, not the case.
Asphalt.
It's asphalt, and the problem with asphalt is that asphalt wears down.
Yeah.
Concrete doesn't. That's why Texas they have this thing where the roads last a lot longer, but it takes them longer to make them.
Hmm.
Like our apartment complex, they came in, and when the ownership changes, they threw all new asphalt down, and then they wondered
That
why all the potholes showed up the next week. It's like, dog, that's what asphalt
they
does.
did that exact same shit when I first moved in. I think have I told you the story of me moving in?
Uh, I don't think so.
So the whole like you haven't been to my complex and stuff, but like the whole like three buildings around me, that whole area was blocked off. You couldn't park there the day I was moving in because they were repaving the parking lot. So um, I had to park like three buildings down and move all of my shit in July in Texas.
That sounds like fun.
That shit was ass, dude. Like literally, I was about to pass out by the time I was done. I was like, oh my god, I am hot, sweaty, exhausted from carrying shit that far. But yeah, they like repaved it, and I mean, honestly, I don't know,
I
looks the
made
same now as it did earlier.
I think I made my girlfriend mad because whenever we moved in over here,
Mm-hmm.
um, she was trying to get like things set up in the room that would be the office, and I
Mm-hmm.
walked in. I was like, "Don't touch anything. I'm gonna do it all. I need you to not touch a thing at all." And
Oh,
she's like,
another thing. Sorry about the parking lot situation was that many spots were also gone. So people
"Oh
had to
no!
park at the front office spots, like the guest spots in the office, because there wasn't enough spots now. And I
Wow,
came home from work one night at 11, 10 o'clock. Of course, everyone's home for the night. And I
nothing."
drove around the parking lot for like literally 10, 15 minutes trying to find a single spot that was open. So I ended up driving through the barriers where they marked it off where you couldn't park and parked in the spot like closest inside the barriers. Well, it wasn't like driving around it. I just squeezed in between the barrier and the parking spot. Thankfully, it was like, you know, I don't know. It was I squeezed in there, and I set an alarm to wake up in the morning before they started the construction work because I knew they started the construction work at like 7:30 or whatever is what they said on the notice in the at the complex. So I had to wake up and move my truck before they showed up. Bro, yeah, that shit was a pain moving in, dude. Fuck them, bro. Fuck y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. Some bitches. I got bitches all on my
Yeah, we had
dick
that issue
every
because so
day.
whenever the new people came into control, there was every like inlet, right? That was guest parking. Well, they changed it to where only at the front office there's guest parking, and I was
Are
like,
they
"This."
serious about like telling people who to tell
Oh yeah,
people what?
they'll boot you. I thought
Really?
so for like the audio listeners, my truck has windshield tint, right? I have 30% on the windshield, and
Is that illegal? Is that illegal there in
oh,
Louisiana?
it's hella illegal anywhere.
Okay, I was about to
You
say.
know,
Yeah, I was about to say anything on the windshield is usually illegal.
yeah.
You're just admitting to your crimes right here on the internet now.
I'm not
Like
admitting
everyone
to
knows your crimes.
crimes. This is a friend's vehicle, not mine. Um,
Yeah, there you go. That's better. That's better. A
and
friend of yours.
the but so the this truck has windshield tint, and I was worried because we have like a little hanging tag that says our number, right? And I thought that because they couldn't see it, I was gonna get a boot like the first day that we were there. And luckily I didn't, and they could see it just fine because I shine a flashlight into the windshield.
Uh,
So
that's good.
yeah, I'm good.
Here, they don't really care here. Actually, it's pretty nice. Like I've had like my girlfriend come visit, and she'll just park in a random spot, and it'll stay there for, like when she was here for like a whole week one time. Stayed there for a week. Nothing. I don't care.
That's pretty
It's just kind of
nice.
cool. Like
They used
we
to
don't have a
not
parking
care.
pass.
Like
Yeah, we don't have.
but
Good.
oh yeah. So whenever I first met my current girlfriend, she was her friend lived here. That's the only reason why we even considered here to live. And I would just park anywhere. And then they were like,
Hmm.
"Oh yeah, just make sure you leave by like 10 o'clock. Otherwise,
Yeah.
they'll put
Do
a
they
note on your car."
do they have like tags still for parking there before you were
At that
living there?
point, they had windshield stickers. You would put a little sticker on your windshield.
Yeah. No,
Um,
we don't have any of that here. Nothing.
wow.
No tag. No hanging
Yeah,
thing.
they
No
took
sticker.
my
Nothing.
like we only have like I'm on the first floor, so like my bike
Mm.
whenever I have it, it stays on the our little like concrete pad up front.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't needed to get anything for that. But both of our vehicles they have a little hanging tag in them that says our apartment number,
Mm.
just
I
so that they
think
know.
I think my license plate is in the system, and I think that's might be how they do it, but I don't think they really care to go run license plates all the time.
Oh yeah,
I,
it's not
I,
a
I
fun
feel like
time.
yeah, I feel like they're not gonna go have someone go drive around and check license plates. As long as I mean, there's usually parking anyways. Like I never have a problem finding parking, so I don't know. It's fine, thankfully. And thankfully, whenever my girlfriend comes to visit her, I had one of my friends from Houston come to visit for a weekend and had no problems parking.
Who was that?
There are visitor spots actually. My neighbor, you know who,
Oh yeah,
my
I didn't know that.
um, yeah, he came to visit for a weekend. But there are visitor spots actually that are like labeled visitor. But yeah, I just like my girlfriend will park wherever, and they don't bother it. So it's nice. I mean, I guess for the rent I pay here, they better not care.
Yeah.
Stupid expensive rent.
Well, we're at a little over an hour.
Are we? Oh my
Yep,
God.
hour and 5, hour and 6
Dang.
actually.
Dang. Okay. Well, do you want to call it or keep going?
Yeah, I mean we can call it.
All right.
I
Sounds
really
good to
gotta
me.
pee. I was not gonna lie. I've been sitting
You
here.
know,
I drank this whole like I got like a 32-ounce thing of It's got some. It's called the Blue Flame Moonshine from Old Smoky. It is 60%. It's 120 proof. I don't
yep.
know what the alcohol per volume of 120 proof is, but it's 120 proof.
60%.
That's 60%. Okay.
Yep, it's half, yeah.
Okay. So 60%, and then that is filled halfway up of this 32-ounce thing. And then I have um, a packet of G Fuel, and then I have a packet of like just regular raspberry lemonade. Because I found the lemonade to take away from the fact that half of it is, 50% alcohol or 60% alcohol, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's got water in it, and that's what I've been drinking during this podcast. So
Hell
the
yeah.
seal has to be broken at some point, and that point is going to be whenever our voices fade and your next podcast plays. That's
Real
about.
quick though, actually, I'm gonna I'm gonna take the course to be a bartender
I
or at
thought
my
about
job.
that.
Cause okay, I'll give you the rundown. So, my job usually is standing behind the counter most of the time. So, and the guy at the bar, he's really cool. Me and him just sit there and talk, and he's giving me a couple cocktails to make it home, which are really good. Uh, and I was asking the guy that's like the supervisor for the bar, like the head honcho, and he was like, I was like, hey, like, is there any way I could be cross trained to the bar? And he's like, yeah, actually, we need some people for the bar and stuff. And I would make what I would, also, I only got 3 days this week. I think I told you that earlier. I only got three
Yeah.
days. I only got scheduled 3 days this week, which sucks. So if I worked the bar, which they need people to work, I would get more hours and I'd make tips. Like the other day, the bartender guy, he made like $80 in tips, and it
Yep.
was like 6 o'clock, or no, it was four something. And I was about to leave. Like, homie has made
Oh
that
yeah.
much in tips already,
Like
and it's like,
so.
dude.
So over here we have my girlfriend's best friend. She used to work at she used to bartend at multiple bars,
Yeah.
and um, it's kind of a double-edged sword whenever we go out with her to like eat because of
Why?
course.
Because she critiques it.
So this might make some of like the viewers upset, but I view tipping as a tip, not as your salary or like how you
Yeah.
live, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that if your boss gives you the what's the waitress hourly rate, like $3 an hour or $4 an
I
hour
think
or
it's
something
like
like
three
that.
fifty or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I believe if they honor that, then you just shouldn't work for them.
Yeah.
I know that sounds stupid, like oh I can't get a job somewhere else, but look, you should not be working for someone who pays you $3 an hour. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Um,
But that's one of the things I was deciding about because like I can make my hourly wage working at the bar that we have there, and make tips. Like
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
a
that's
win-win,
worth it.
dude. Yeah,
So
and the guy that works the bar that's usually there, he makes more than me an hour, and he gets his tips. I'm like, man, that's a sweet gig.
gonna have you grabbing your keys at the end of work.
Heck yeah.
Um, no, so whenever we go out with these friends, they believe that everyone makes that, $3, $4 an hour, so they want to tip, really good. And I had to tell
Mm-hmm.
my girlfriend, I was like, look, we can tip a little bit more than we usually do, like when we have good service, but I'm not doing no, like, we went to the bar one time, we got like $20 worth of drinks and then tipped them $60. I was like, no, absolutely fucking not. Because I believe I do tips based off of percentages, regardless of
Mm-hmm.
how good you were. Like if you were really good, you're gonna get a higher percentage, but that's it. It's still gonna be a
Yeah.
percentage, because just like um just like taxes, I think taxes should be based off of a percentage, and everyone should pay the same percent. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so like if we had really good service, let's say we tip them like 25%. If we got a $50 bill, 25% of that $50 bill, that's a pretty good tip, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we got like we went somewhere we had like an $8 bill, I'm not. There's no reason why I'm paying more than $16 to be there if I got an eight
Oh
dollar bill.
yeah. If I get an $8 bill, I'm just making a flat 10 and just giving like a $2 tip.
That's
I
like
feel like
20. That's 20%.
yeah, I feel like that's a
That's
fair
that's better
percentage
than
for
the
what I paid.
defaults on there. The defaults start at 15.
I mean,
So
okay, if I go somewhere and get drinks and like the person, okay, so let's say I go somewhere and pay like $10 for drinks, and I mean, I know that's unheard of, but it's just a hypothetical here. And like the bartender, the server or waitress is fucking great, you know. I'll turn that $2 into like four, you know. That way, it's like, you know, I'd say if they're
So
really good,
you
yeah, I
paid
give them a good tip.
you paid $10 for drinks and you did a $4 tip.
If they're really good, if
Yeah, yeah,
if
that's a
it's an
40%
entertaining
tip.
good night,
The
if it's an
problem,
entertaining good night, it's not gonna cost me that much more. And
yeah,
they, you know, if they earned it, they deserve it. I feel like.
yeah, and it's a percentage.
Yeah, I mean,
So like, if you
I
would have
usually go
spent,
by like a
let's say you
good.
spent $50, right?
Yeah,
You would have given like $15. That's
yeah.
close
I
to
feel like
40%,
I feel like
I think.
15-20% of a $50 bill is
Yeah, that's
a good
reasonable.
tip.
Yeah,
If the, you know, I feel like if I'm spending that much though, usually it's at a nicer place. So usually the staff is, you know, they're usually pretty
yeah.
good
Like
because they know they're making good tips
I,
if they're good.
I've never. It's a very American thing to tip.
Oh yeah,
Like tipping is part
hundred
of like an
percent.
American thing. So when you go
Just like
overseas and you tip someone, they're like, "Oh my god, like this is crazy. I've never been tipped before."
mm,
Where here
yeah,
it's just expected to tip, and
it's crazy. Just like ice cubes in water, you know. Looking at you, Brits. I think
or
most of Europe
sugar
does
in
that
your
though.
tea. Like I
Or
can't believe y'all have never
free
thought about that.
water. Y'all ever heard of free water?
Y'all
We
have
got
a.
that here.
What about a dentist?
Hey man, they get free healthcare though. They just gotta wait 3 months for the
Yeah,
or
it
3 months
shows that you
longer.
get free healthcare. That was something that whenever me and my girlfriend got together, she wasn't too political, but she was like, I think universal healthcare is a good idea. Well,
I don't.
there was I told her, I was like, look, there's a lot of things that are good about universal healthcare. The problem is the things that are bad are so much worse than the things that are good. And she goes, what do you mean? I was like, well, let's take this completely hypothetical situation so that y'all don't hate me when you listen to this. But so let's take your let's say you need to go in for like a cleaning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you pay here in the states. You can pay $200 a month, and you can get that service where it's part of your insurance. Even cheaper
And
if
it
you qualify for Medicaid or something like that. Okay.
and it covers like other stuff. You
Yeah, it
just have to do
covers
a
some other
copay.
stuff too.
You have to do a copay
And
though,
oh
still,
yeah,
but
you
it's
have to
usually
do a
really
copay
cheap.
with this. Let's say you have a
Yeah.
$50 copay, so it costs you $50 plus the 250 that month to go to the dentist to get your cleaning, right? So for two hundred fifty
Mm-hmm.
dollars, you get your teeth cleaned and like all good.
Yeah.
Well, I told her I was like, so now you've paid 250. Your insurance probably paid like $15. Um, it's a win-win for both of you. Now let's take this over to Europe. So let's say you go to Europe, free healthcare. You make an appointment to get your teeth cleaned, and they'd say, hey, it's going to be 6 months. Well, in that 6 months, you develop two cavities. Now it's going to be 6 months from, or actually, they tell you it's going to be a year. That's because they're backlogged to fix those cavities. So now you
Mm-hmm.
go a year with cavities in you, and then you get there and they're like, oh, well, we have more cavities. We have to schedule you for another one.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got some of your cavities fixed, but not the other ones. So now you got to go back after another year. Now you're at 2.5 years of waiting on this, and then like let's say you had like a root canal issue. Well, you don't know about it for another year. You get there and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, well, we have to remove this tooth. Now you've lost a tooth. Now you see why Europeans have this like fucked up teeth situation that they have to deal with,
Mm-hmm.
as far as like a prejudice, 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 I guess. Like,
Also here though, a lot of businesses give employees benefits like that
oh
though
yeah,
without.
like
But I
yeah.
mean, it comes out of their pay, but still, I feel
When
like
I
that's
worked
nice.
when I worked in the plant, it took $70 a paycheck out, which was I got paid 4 times a month. So do the math there.
Yeah, I
Two
mean,
hundred two hundred $240, but I got everything covered.
yeah, dental,
So
eyes,
Yeah,
doctor
it was a
visits.
full
Yeah,
stack.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. That's yeah, that's not that bad.
yeah, it wasn't too bad. I just, I mean, I get it. Universal healthcare is a great idea. Don't get me wrong. If everyone could have it, that'd be fine. But the problem is, you still got to pay a doctor somehow. And I don't think my taxes should pay for a doctor when I can just pay for the doctor with my money.
For a quicker time.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
just
know.
like the
I
reason
think it's a
why it'll
great
never work
idea.
is the VA system in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who don't know, the VA is the Veteran Affairs System, and basically what it does is it gives you free health care if you're a vet. So if you served in the military, you get free health care.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely horrendously terrible. So my dad went there whenever he was a diabetic, and he had diabetics have this thing where when you get a cut, you don't really feel the cut, and then it
Yeah.
progresses and progresses and
Yep.
progresses.
You could lose a toe or something.
So
Yeah.
he had a spot on his big toe that was kind of an
Mm-hmm.
issue. Well, VA said we can't get you in for a year and a half. Well, in a year and a half, that foot's going to be gone.
Yeah.
Because if you don't touch an infected foot for a year and a half, it becomes a gone foot. And just right there, like, I mean, you think about a lot of vets have cancer. A lot of vets have, like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that wait time's even for, like, mental health things, which is something that's very important, regardless of who you are,
Especially. Mm-hmm.
especially vets. Like, I mean, I don't have much experience, but like I know a few people who have had certain conditions when you come back from overseas, and it's not a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very weird thing to do with, and it's even weirder when you like try to help people like that because for someone who hasn't gone through those things, it makes it that much harder to communicate on that level.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you can sit on 4chan and look at wrecked threads all day, but it doesn't prepare you for like you know being 6 feet away
Mm-hmm.
from the shit that people see.
Yeah.
And like the VA is supposed to help with that, but it can't because it's overbooked because it's the only free healthcare system in the U.S. and there's so many vets, and like it's a failing system, and it'll. I personally don't think it'll work in the states.
Just like Social Security, because I
Oh
guarantee we
yeah.
will not be getting Social Security when we are that age. That is going
Oh
to be
yeah.
gone.
I don't even think my mom will. My mom's got roughly 15 years until she can collect my dad's Social Security. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll be there by the time.
Yeah, no, it probably won't.
Yeah. So.
Oh, also, or another thing, um, when my grandfather died, speaking of veteran stuff, when my grandfather died of prostate cancer, um,
Oh, that's what it was.
the yeah, it was prostate cancer.
Huh.
Yeah, for I think 3 or 4 years he was battling it. Um, they got a check from the army that he's from the army or from the government because when he was in Vietnam, they they used like the orange 42 or whatever spray. You know, I don't know
Yeah.
if you, I think you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking
That
about.
was Agent Orange.
Agent Orange, there we go. Yeah, they used that, and like apparently
It
the
causes
side effect
cancer.
of it,
Yeah.
yeah, side effect of it. One of the side effects is prostate cancer. So
Yeah. It
they
causes
gave us
cancer
a
in
check.
general. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah,
I got a check from O'Reilly's for $2.
for your final like 0.2 hours that you're clocked in at or something.
No, there was a lawsuit that O'Reilly's was a part of,
Oh,
so my settlement was $2. I didn't even take the check.
nice.
I was like, dog.
Let me get a gift card with that on it, please.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's already been an hour and 20 now. We said it with like an hour and like 4 minutes. Like, yeah, we can call it here. Then 20 more
Yeah.
minutes later talking.
I
I'm sure you got to pee, huh?
I
My
actually
boy's got
I
to
hadn't thought
use
about it
it.
until you just said something.
You gotta pee. You gotta pee. You have to pee really bad right now. Your bladder is so full right now. You have to go
I'm in
pee.
your walls. Your bladder's full.
I'm in your walls. I'm in your walls. I'm in your walls. All right. I guess we can call it here.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening in to this
Yeah. Sorry about the
tip
VA tangent, but
tipsy. Yeah. Sorry for any political rants. You know, I don't want to. I don't want us to seem like we're some kind. I don't know.
yeah.
Like we're not picking sides or anything. We're just talking about political subjects that
It's like one of those. We're not
we're
picking
talking
sides,
about.
but you might have an idea.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
I'm not against universal health care. It's just, there's I don't know any way that we can implement it without it being
Yeah.
bad or just,
It's
impossible.
like
And I don't know.
I can assure the people listening that I'm closer to an anarchist than I am either side of the political spectrum. And whether or
Nice.
not, however that makes you feel that way. Um, but it's like two sides of the same coin. So I don't really care about either side.
No.
It's just like I had a sign
I'm
language
on.
teacher who was an anarchist, and he had some very good points. So I'm not against that.
Oh, he was? I didn't know that. I never
Yeah,
got
yeah.
I never
He was
talked
a
politics with him.
heavy anarchist.
Huh.
His favorite quote was like the that Scotland went so many years as an anarchist government, and he was like,
Huh.
if they can do it for that many years, we can do it for even more.
Yeah,
And I was
that's a
like,
fair
that's a
point.
valid point.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just a conservative Southern boy
I
that
wouldn't associate with conservatives.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so. I would say I'm more right leaning. I don't know.
Yeah,
Honestly, this
you
probably isn't the place to talk about this,
yeah,
but
be like you're a center dot that's just a little bit to the right. That's it.
I'm exactly the center, guys. I'm exactly the center. What do you mean?
I think I haven't taken a political compass test in a while, so I couldn't tell you.
I've never done that, and
You've
I don't
never
care
done
to,
that?
because
I
no,
want you
and
to now.
I really don't care to, because I don't know. Why? How would the internet telling me where I am really decide? I don't know. I like to make my
It's a
own
cool thing.
decisions and vote and decide what I think is a good policy or not.
Here, I'm gonna send it to you, so after the podcast, you
All
can
right,
take it and I can take it again. I've taken it
fine,
a few
fine.
times,
Okay, fine, fine.
but
I will do that. And then the next podcast, I'm sure that all the listeners
we'll
here
be
are going to be
waiting to
tweeting.
see.
They're going to be tweeting about this or whatever. By the way, we have a Twitter, guys.
Yeah,
It's
we do have a Twitter. It's at spacebar_podcast.
_podcast, guys. Go
Yep.
check the Twitter out. We'll
And
start posting updates about
we're
the
both in charge of
uploads.
it, and we don't tweet anything except for what's funny to us. So get ready to see memes,
Memes, and
memes
here
and
I will get
memes.
on. I will get on the posting updates, not updates, but like when we post the podcast. I'll start doing that. I need
I
to.
mean, I'm signing on it
I
too, so it's not like a.
I'll make it my job. I got
I'll make it my job.
85 hours a motherfucking week. I'm on my motherfucking job. Yeah, soft hands. Soft hands. Fucking amazing. Amazing audio for 2023. All right, guys. Well, it's been almost an hour and a half actually, so
Yep.
it is 3 in the morning now.
Yep. 305, baby.
It is 3:05 in the morning now. So, I think it's a good time to call it.
Yep.
Thank you guys for all listening. We both really appreciate it. Appreciate you guys to keep coming back and listening, especially you guy from Brussels. You're cool. We
Was it
like you.
Brussels?
Follow our Twitter. It was it was Brussels. That was
Okay.
the city at least, I think.
Oh, the city. Okay. Yeah,
That
we
was
know
the
where you
city.
live, dog. We got your
Yeah,
IP.
we know
We're in your
you.
walls.
Yeah, we know you. We know your address, okay? So if you don't go to our Twitter and follow it, then we're gonna
Follow
knock
it
on your
at
door and leave it.
spacebar_podcast.
We're gonna leave an edible arrangements on your doorstep if you don't follow us on Twitter.
Every
All right.
follower will get a tweet back.
Whoa.
Whoa. I will personally do it.
Okay. Hey, go for it.
Yeah.
You heard it, guys.
You heard it
Follow.
from here.
Follow Twitter.
At
That way you
spacebar
will get a
underscore.
tweet.
I'm gonna double check because it would be kind of awkward if it wasn't spacebar underscore podcast. But I'm pretty sure it's spacebar.
Yeah, you
It's
might
spacebar
follow.
underscore cast.
Is it?
Yeah,
Really?
let me see if podcast is available.
Oh, I could have sworn it was. Okay, well, here, you get it right before we keep saying it over and over again. We've been saying it wrong this whole time.
It's currently it says spacebar underscore cast. But spacebar underscore. Oh, it's because it's longer than 15 characters.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so
Spacebar underscore cast. You heard it from here. And
yeah, guys. Okay, it is. Yeah,
and to be honest, if you search spacebar underscore podcast, I believe it pops up.
yeah. All right. Well, go follow the Twitter, guys, please. And
Yep.
tweet at us, DM us questions, DM us anything you want us to talk about. We'll answer some questions if they get DM'd. That'd be interesting to see what people want to ask and
Yeah.
answer.
I will say, if you ask us a question, we will answer it on the next podcast that we film.
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys have a week, 1 week. That's your
Well,
deadline, okay? Assignments due on Friday. What's next Friday?
the second.
Okay, yeah. Assignments due Friday, June 2nd, guys, okay?
I will.
That's it. That's
I
the
will
due
tweet
date.
it out right now.
All right. Well, I got to pee now, too, actually, after thinking about it. So I think we could call it here. Thank you guys for listening. Once again, I think I've said it like 3 times now. Hope you guys have a good one, and we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully.
Yep.